Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42 with another Minecraft video. Welcome to episode 2 of season 8, I believe. Wow, there's a lot of server refreshes in there. As you can see, I've changed a bit of stuff since last time. I've only gone 2 stacks high, and we've got this peculiar thing where the ground is black there and blue up here. I've laid out the dirt a bit better for the trees. I've still left this just buried in the ground because that's kind of where I like to have that. Got our furnace still sitting there, which we might just make sure has some fuel. We've still got our little cobble generator here. I've made this little hole that we can sort of go into, and I can just sort of sit here and spam the pickaxe, and it takes forever, but we get ourselves a bit of cobblestone. The next things we're going to do, I think today we're going to make some better tools and try and get those first bits of stuff. By stuff, I mean ingots and iron and some of the metals and bits and pieces we need. So first of all, though, we're going to make this thing called a crook. Now ex nihilo, wrong key. X. So there's ex nihilo, and there's also a thing called where is it? X compressum. These are the mods that are going to really help us with what we're doing. So first of all, with the crook, what we want to do is we want to break a ton of these leaves. And hopefully what we're looking for is a thing called I think it's like a silkworm. Either way, it's a little worm. And what we can use it for is for putting on a tree, and it will convert all the, well, it lays sort of webs or silk inside the leaves, and this will let us get string. String is what we're going to need to make the very first ex nihilo machine that we want to make. Actually, probably not the first one. We do get, this is going to take a little while. In fact, my crook is nearly done. In fact, it's done, and I don't have a single silkworm. Wow, okay. So I'm going to have to make some more of that. But anyway, the first, let's just get that. So this first thing, X-compression, sorry, the chicken stick. So the chicken stick is, actually we're going to need to plant. What we can do is we can do the cobblestone. We can put out the cobblestone and then use the chicken stick. And that'll turn the cobblestone into gravel. From there we can lay out the gravel, use the chicken stick, and that'll make sand. And sand, likewise, we can... Oh, alright, so obviously there's a chance of getting a chicken at the same time. So he's probably going to jump off the edge at some point, but we'll leave him there for now. We get dust. So if I just hit the U key on the dust, what we can do is we can put it into the sieve. Now the sieve, and this is how we get all of our stuff. So we get redstone from this, glowstone, gunpowder, a bunch of other things, some diamond dust, most of these. Skystone, even stuff for applied energistics. Now the sieve that we want is not the heavy sieve. Down here, just the oak sieve. So it needs the silk mesh stuff, and the silk mesh is what takes the string, which is why we're trying to get this glowworm, or whatever sort of worm it's called. Alright, so I'm going to once again run away. I'm going to have to do this quite a few times, and hopefully we'll get ourselves a worm. I'll be back once we've got one, and I'll show you how it works. See you in a bit. Alrighty, okay, I have managed to find myself just a single silkworm. Silkworm's what they're called. So what we're going to do with the silkworm is I'm going to grow a few more of these trees so that we've got more leaves around. Yeah, one more. Can we get it? No, never mind. So what we'll do is we'll put the silkworm up into there. Now it's changed that, so it says infesting 1, 2, 3%, 4%, 5%. Okay, so that's going to infest for a while, and it's going to spread to all these other leaf blocks. Now, while that is going, we've got something else we also need to do. We need to make ourselves a barrel. Now, it's not going to be a jabber barrel, it's going to be this one, an oak barrel, which is literally just a slab with some wood on each side. So what we might do is we'll make 4 of them. you know what? I'm going to make a couple more. Because you're going to need a few of these. So what we're going to do with the oak barrels is, now this is a very interesting thing, you can't quite tell from, there's no mini map or anything, but there's actually two different biomes here. I've sort of got a bit of a, I don't know whether it's good luck or bad luck, but the rain only falls on this half of my platform. About here, right where my little slot is for harvesting cobblestone, that is actually where the rain stops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these along here. Now all I'm going to need is probably 3 of them. And over here, where it doesn't rain, I'm going to throw another 3. Now, what we can do with these, if I get myself some of these saplings, we've got heaps of these, we can throw these in here. I think it's 8. And it'll say composting. Now, composting, this will give us dirt in the end. So I'm going to throw some in there and throw some in there. Put these back. They can take apples or any sort of organic material, and these will compost and eventually make ourselves some dirt. Now, the other reason we've done this is over here we have these ones, and these ones are going to collect water when it rains. Now, we can't control when it rains, so we're just going to have to wait a little bit for that. The next thing we want to make is, well, actually we can't until we get some water, so we're going to have to wait for water in those barrels first. So I'm once again going to cut this. I will come back in a second once some of this has been infested. Well, there's one that's been infested, so we can harvest that. Look at that, string. Cool, so I'm going to wait for this to be infested. We'll come back, harvest a bunch of it, make ourselves a sieve. Hopefully it'll have rained by then, but knowing my luck, it may not have. But yeah, we'll see how we go. See you in a bit again. Well, that didn't take too long in the end to turn all of this into nice infested leaves. I've harvested a bit more cobblestone as well and expanded my platform a bit. Unfortunately, not a single drop of rain, which is a bit of a pity. But our saplings in here have turned into more dirt, which is really good. So let's just add that back to there. So what I've got to do now is basically get all this string gathered together. So let's jump up into the tree. Hopefully we'll be able to get quite a bit of string out of this. Wow, got one of those large oak trees as well, which is always handy for getting extra wood. I always try and get myself up onto the top so that I can harvest it from the top down. So I'm going to sit here and get as much string as I can out of this. Oh look, got ourselves another silkworm as well, that's awesome. So I'm going to harvest a bunch of the string. We'll hopefully get some more silkworms, and then I'll be back down the bottom for the next step of the stuff we're going to do. So see you in the see you down the bottom once I've destroyed this tree. Okay, so I finally chopped down all of these trees. Let's just replant them, and we got a ton of string, heaps of string, awesome amounts of string. So what I'm going to do is we'll make. So we need 2 silk meshes for the 2 silk meshes for the oak sieve, which means we need. So let's just make that one first. We've got quite a bit of wood as well, which is really, really handy. Let's get some sticks, the wood, and the silk mesh. There's our oak sieve. The other thing I'm going to make is a heavy oak sieve. Now the heavy oak sieve takes still sticks, but oak wood and heavy silk mesh. The heavy silk mesh being 4 of the normal silk mesh. So that means we need 8 of the normal silk mesh, which should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be 8 of those. There we go, heavy mesh. And then some of those, 2 more sticks. And there's our heavy sieve. Awesome. So what I'm going to do with these is, yeah, look, I'm just going to put them here. So what we're going to be able to do with these, now, that dust that I got before, which is here, put some of those back. Let's put our wood away, put our string away. And we also managed to get another 45 silkworms. Not that I think we're going to need anymore, given how much string we now have. But what we can do with the dust is we can throw this in here and just keep right-clicking. And we'll get some dust and stuff. Oh, look, some glowstone already. Awesome. So there we go, get some powdered gold ore, some powdered iron, platinum, some bone meal, a redstone and a glowstone. Pretty awesome stuff. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to get, put that crook back, chicken stick. Now, one of the things we can do with this is, let's do 9 of these. Because what we can do is if we get 9 of the gravel. Now, 9 of the gravel, we can make a compressed gravel. Now, the compressed gravel, this is what the heavy sieve does. We can put compressed gravel in there straight away, or compressed anything, really. And it gives us slightly better ores. So there's a bunch of... Oh, get some coal there. That's pretty awesome. So there's a bunch of extra things you can get to. So this broken iron ore, if I hit you on there, see, we can do 4 of them, makes an iron ore gravel. If I broke that down, will it tell me? Yeah, so if you break it with a hammer, you can get 4 crushed iron, but you may get some extra iron as well. So when you combine that, you end up with iron ore sand. If you use the sand, again, with the hammer, you can get powdered iron ore, and you use that with 4 of those just to make the dust, and the dust basically smelts straight into iron ingots. Now, there's a very interesting thing that you can do with the iron ore dust. If you put it into a smeltery, there, 288, you actually get 2 ingots out of it. So I'm not going to smelt too much of this. I really want to try and get a smeltery up probably in the next episode. It's a bit tricky though. So for now, this is a pretty good episode. Well, I think I might just leave this here, actually. Next time, we'll get some tinkers going, I think. Hopefully it would have rained by then, because what we're waiting for is these to fill up with water. Although there may be a trick for that, actually. So I will leave this one here. That is another pretty good episode. Again, before next time, I'll probably harvest a bunch more cobblestone, expand the platform out a bit more, maybe expand the farm out a bit more to plant more of these things, because we're going to need more and more trees, at least for the start bit of this anyway. And maybe do some more composting. Maybe we'll even get another chicken out of that chicken hammer. Anyway, that is it from me. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.